I'm Susan from Tarjac. You may know us as the source for the best camo for your guns and bows, but we do so much more. Our custom work with automotive parts can transform any vehicle, our ATVs, sleds, four-wheelers, motorcycles. We've received national recognition for our work with Orange County Choppers, and we are most proud of our partnership with the future servicemen by providing customized helmets for the Army-Navy game. From the national stage to your favorite hunting ground, it's Tarjac.
Hello and welcome to the CNY Business Connection. I'm Jason Weinstein. Coming up on this week's show, why if you've been affected by the recent floods, there are some legal and tax tips that you can take advantage of to get yourself and your business back on its feet. Plus, the latest in Business Connection classified some job postings from around the area, but we'll begin with the latest in business news from around the area.
New Yorkers remain divided when it comes to hydrofracking. A new Siena poll shows a majority of voters are more likely to trust opponents of fracking than supporters, but they are split on whether to support the DEC's recommendation to allow the drilling in the Marcellus Shale. That same poll shows Governor Cuomo is popular. His favorability rating, 72%. 7 out of 10 voters say Cuomo has done an excellent or good job in responding to the recent storms and flooding. Downtown Binghamton will once again be at the center of the hydrofracking debate. The DEC will host a public hearing at the Forum Theater in November. The topic? Its newly released report on hydrofracking. Last September, hundreds of people turned out when the EPA held a gas drilling hearing at the Forum. The public has until December 1st to comment on the DEC's revised report. The hearing will be held on November 17th. Does the federal government have enough money to save jobs at post offices around the country, despite the deficits? Local postal workers say yes, and a group of them rallied at the federal courthouse on Henry Street in Binghamton. They say the Postal Service has already paid up to $75 billion more than necessary into the federal retirement system. They say a bill sponsored by Congressman Maurice Hinchey would transfer that money back to the post office, and that could prevent layoffs and transfers to places like Rochester.
Would you want to drive 6 hours a day to get to work, to and from?
I love my job. It's great. I come to work. I work hard. It's a really great job. Thought it was secure, but I guess the table's turned now.
Binghamton Mayor Matt Ryan stopped by and joined the postal workers. With half of the Southern Tier's crops washed away by the flood, farmers are facing a real hardship. Dozens of them gathered at Shenango Town Hall looking for answers from state and federal officials. The Cornell Cooperative Extension hosted the meeting. Members say there are a number of programs that can help. They range from disaster unemployment to water and soil testing.
Some of these farms, it's going to take years to get recovery, total recovery, if they ever do recover. You know, losing 1,000 acres of corn, you know, that's what they have for feed for their livestock for the next year. Are they going to be able to recuperate? We're going to be able to time to tell. The more opportunity we can provide them, the better chance of them to survive.
Flood officials say every farm in Broome County was impacted by the flood.
I just can't face it.
For the past 30 years, Sally Lane has owned the Chopping Block, a hair salon in Appalachian. But after 2 floods within 5 years, she's found only one way to deal with it.
By not looking at it. And I haven't been in the building. My children have. They're working. They're trying to clean it out.
So Lane decided to go to the Greater Binghamton Chamber of Commerce seminar on business recovery, looking for answers about
what I would have to do to go out of business.
Maybe the easy answer is closing your doors, but I think there's so many resources available that maybe that does offer a ray of hope to business owners saying, you know what, I think I can get through this.
And those resources were at the seminar, a panel assembled to cover all aspects of flood recovery. The first step, register with FEMA.
And what FEMA does in the registration process, it creates an electronic trail of that person, the name of the business, where they're located.
SBA Representative Edward Williams says once a business registers with FEMA, they are encouraged to apply for an SBA loan.
We have an eligible amount. The maximum amount of our loan is $2 million, and that can be used for the repair or replacement of machinery and equipment, inventory, fixtures, and furnishings.
These loans have a low interest rate of 2.5%, and Williams says business owners on the road to recovery have limited options.
Every now and then a state will come in and find some money in their budget, and they will make available some amount of funds to businesses that appear to fall through the cracks with the federal programs. But in the real world, at the end of the day, insurance and SBA disaster loans is the primary source of recovery for the disaster loan and the disaster victim.
But for Lane, the possibility of receiving money may be enough to change her mind.
Now I've got mixed emotions. Maybe it would be worthwhile going for it. Had a good business, and my family's involved. My 2 daughters work for me, and it was their future. So I've got a lot of things to consider.
For the past 10 years, a group of people known as the IBM Plume victims have been trying to get some leverage in their lawsuit against Big Blue, and now they've got it.
There was a smoking gun. It's been fired.
What former county legislator Wanda Hudak is talking about is this week's announcement that the federal government's Environmental Protection Agency has declared that TCE, one of the chemicals found in a plume around the IBM campus in Endicott, is indeed a human carcinogen. That is, a substance that is linked to cancer in humans. Why is the announcement such a big deal? It's legal ammunition for the 1,000 or so people who are suing IBM for causing sickness, disabilities, and deaths.
Typically in these cases, the defendants will attempt to argue that if a chemical is not listed by the EPA as a human carcinogen, definitely that there is insufficient scientific support for linking it to any particular cancer.
But with the EPA's redefinition of TCE, IBM can no longer make that claim.
Just like we've been saying, and it was just common sense.
Wanda Hudak, who leads the IBM victims group known as the Stakeholder Coalition, says that she and others knew all along what TCE did to humans. She can see the IBM campus literally from her front yard and recalls what she saw herself when she worked at IBM.
I was a nurse there for 10 years, and I saw the chemicals reactions when they came into the first aid and the injuries that they caused. For years they were saying, this is not true, this is not true, these chemicals don't cause any problems.
A trial date for the first group of plaintiffs versus IBM is set for September of next year.
And time now for the latest in Business Connection Classified, some job postings from around the area. In collaboration with the Rural Health Network of South Central New York, AVRE will be interviewing candidates for a low vision clinic access specialist. This position will connect persons with sustained vision loss to the Low Vision Center at AVRE and work with area eye care practices to integrate low vision services into standard eye care treatment for such persons. They will also build bridges with the eye care community, facilitate referrals, and create patient awareness and demand through educating collateral professionals and eye care office staff, direct-to-consumer presentations, and related activities. For more information and to apply online, visit the RHSC website and view AmeriCorps positions. The Association for Visual Rehabilitation and Employment is looking for a manager of new business opportunities. This person would be responsible for identifying new AVRE products and services which have the potential to grow employment opportunities for people who are blind or visually impaired. Products and/or services identified must enhance both the mission and profitability of AVRE. The position has a focus on enhancing federal and state government business, but commercial opportunity development is also expected. Some business travel will be necessary to perform the essential functions of the position. Please send your resume to Kevin Berger's attention at AVRE, 174 Court Street, Binghamton, New York, 13901. You can fax your resume to Kevin at 607-771-8045 or email kberger@avreus.org. As business grows, AVRE continues to create good jobs for legally blind individuals in various manufacturing, assembly, and packaging departments. These positions range from entry-level assembly and manufacturing to machine operators. AVRE offers competitive wages and benefits. Interested legally blind individuals should contact Kevin Berger, Accounting and Human Resources Manager, at 607-724-2428 or email him at avreinfo@avreus.org. And for more information on those postings, you can go to bizconnecttv.com/jobs and follow us on Twitter at BizConnectTV. When we come back, some legal tips from the law offices of John G. Dowd, some legal and tax options you have if you've been affected by the recent flooding.
I'm Norm Poltenson. I've published the Central New York Business Journal for 25 years. Our success is based on the fact that we know only one audience, owners and managers of businesses in Central New York. We publish stories for them, we don't offer sound bites, and we always source our information. Maybe technology's changed since I started publishing 25 years ago, but not our mission. You can always rely on the Central New York Business Journal providing your business news.
Make your company's job opportunities stand out and get seen. The Binghamton Business Connection and BizConnectTV.com have created the area's first video job posting service. Don't hope a few words of text will get you the local candidates you want. Get your opportunities seen on the Binghamton Business Connection TV show and BizConnectTV.com/jobs. For an inexpensive multimedia and visual way to showcase your job openings, call 239-0199, email BizConnectTV@gmail.com, and watch the Binghamton Business Connection on My 8. Welcome back. The recent floods which have hit upstate New York have disrupted lives and businesses. If you find yourself in the group of people whose lives and businesses have been upended, there are some legal and tax options that you have. Here are some of them from the law offices of John G. Dowd.
Hello, I'm John Dowd of the law offices of John G. Dowd. And this week we're going to talk about flood claims and your options. The first step is to review your insurance coverage. National Flood Program insurance administered by FEMA is often required by your lenders. Secondly, homeowners policies and riders thereto may provide flood coverage. Your checklist of options includes the National Flood Program that provides flood insurance. You may have a homeowner's policy that provides some coverage. In addition, there may be a homeowner's rider to the homeowner's policy that provides coverage for flooding or sewer or drain backup. There's also FEMA grants and loans that you can apply for, and on a limited basis there are New York State rebate programs. Applications for FEMA grants and loans are available online at your local Broome County Bar Association office or at the FEMA offices. The Binghamton area is a designated national disaster area with FEMA offices already here. Private homeowner insurance carriers may need to provide its customers a decline of coverage letter, often referred to as the declination letter, to process many claims for FEMA subsidy programs. A few reminders. Keep a list of all destroyed property. Take pictures of your home or buildings and destroyed personal property. If available, take camcorder or DVD recordings of the damage. Lastly, try to get a claims adjuster to your location as soon as possible, whether your homeowner's insurance carrier, FEMA, or both. Good records will allow you to take appropriate tax deductions in 2011 for casualty losses and or for business write-offs, accelerated depreciation, and to otherwise maximize tax planning opportunities. Many Broome County Bar Association members, including myself, are available to provide advice and assist in processing claims with no charge for a consultation. On behalf of myself and area residents affected by the recent disaster, thank you to all the volunteers that are helping flood victims and serving as men and women for others.
Our thanks to John for that. Time now to turn things over to our friends at Prendismo.com, partnering with entrepreneurs for success. And this week's bit of business wisdom from someone who has lived it: why success in business is not possible without some failure beforehand.
I think to have that confidence level, you have to accept the good and the bad. And when you have a mind shift or you change your mindset on what can happen and know that things won't always turn out well, but just keep pushing forward and having confidence in your past experiences. So what I do is on my wall, I have things that I've done well in the past. And I look at those things, everything from running for student government president back in undergrad to starting Great Black Speakers to doing many different types of summer programs. That keeps me grounded and makes me understand and makes me realize that I'm not a failure, even though I might have failed at one thing. I think about, I believe it was Thomas Edison that says to increase the rate of your success, increase the rate of your failures, because it took him thousands of times to find the right mold and model to create the light bulb. And Thomas Edison is one of the greatest inventors of all time, and we have to take that type of mindset that really successful people fail a lot, and knowing that that is the case, you can't lose your confidence during those failing times because you're missing your success for the future.
And that does it for this episode of the CNY Business Connection. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Jason Weinstein. Have a good one. Make your company's job opportunities stand out and get seen. The Binghamton Business Connection and BizConnectTV.com have created the area's first video job posting service. Don't hope a few words of text will get you the local candidates you want. Get your opportunities seen on the Binghamton Business Connection TV show and BizConnectTV.com/jobs. For an inexpensive multimedia and visual way to showcase your job openings, call 239-0199, email bizconnecttv@gmail.com, and watch the Binghamton Business Connection on My 8.